Hello, this is Joshua Schoen, and I'm making a prerequisite video which is going to be talking about variables and memory addresses and all that crazy cool stuff. So this is going to be a prerequisite video to data structures and algorithms, and specifically nodes and how they relate to other nodes using .next or previous, talking about linked lists, talking about binary trees, all that fun stuff. Oh boy, it's so much fun, yeah. So this video is going to just talk about variables or pointers or references or whatever you're going to call them and how they actually work. So this video is not for beginner programmers. You should have a foundational understanding of object-oriented programming to really know what I'm talking about. But this video could be used by beginners, but it's going to lead to more complicated stuff. So fasten your seatbelts and get ready for this beginner video. So what are we going to talk about? So this video is just going to talk about memory and how variables point to that memory and what happens when you set a variable equal to some kind of memory object in memory, and what happens if you set a variable equal to another variable, what's happening there. So all that fun stuff. It's going to be around 5 to 6 minutes long. I'm going to try to go under 6 minutes, but hopefully I don't go a little over. So what is a variable? So a variable is a combination of letters and numbers that point to some kind of object in memory. Typically, you can have the variable point to any object in object-oriented programming of any type, mutable or immutable. So let's start with immutable objects and setting pointers to those and what immutable even means. So immutable means it cannot be altered once it's in memory. It's there to stay. Examples of immutable objects are integers, strings, booleans, doubles, floats, any kind of simple variable like data type like that. So for example, let's set a variable called x equal to 5. So what exactly does this even mean? So this 5 on the right is an integer object with the value of 5. What happens when you set x equals to this? So a variable named x is created, or a pointer, and that points to some integer object in memory. It doesn't have to be an integer object, it can be any kind of object. So for this video we're just going to talk about immutable objects. The next one we're going to talk about mutable, which is, if you guessed what immutable means, which you can't change the data type, mutable just means the opposite. So for this, let's stick on x equals 5. What does this actually do? So in Python, you can get the memory where this object is located by taking the ID of the pointer. So x points to something. X points to 5. It doesn't actually equal it, it just points to where it is in memory. So let's play this, and this right here is called a memory address. So a memory address is a set of numbers, in Python at least. It could be different in other languages. It's a set of numbers. So this integer object 5 has a unique memory address. Or if you want to print the value of the memory address, you just print the pointer. So now this is the value of the integer object in memory. It can be referenced through the pointer. Sorry. What happens if you change this? So what is happening here? So it first points to 5, and now it points to another integer object, 7. What happens to this 5? So this 5 is now subject to something called garbage collection, which is basically like how a garbage truck works in real life. So you throw this 5 out, this 5 gets wiped from memory because nothing's referencing it, and this 7 is now created in memory at a different memory address. So if you remember the memory address of the last one, let's get it again for reference. So let's get the memory address of 5. You're going to see it again. Here's this. keep track of what this is. So now, let's change it. So now it points to some completely different integer object in memory. So now this number is going to be completely different. So we hit play, and look, it's completely different. It still starts with 14, but it's some of the numbers in here changed. So now this integer 7 is represented by this memory address. And if we want the value of the thing in memory, you just play and you get the thing in memory 7. So this is part 1 of the prerequisite video. Variables are just pointers to some kind of data in memory. Could be immutable or immutable. Immutable being it can't be changed once it's created. Immutable meaning it can be changed once it's created. So this has been part 1. In part 2, we will talk about mutable objects and how it relates to what's something called a node and what that is. Thank you.